own. I like this side by side that I have going on. I don't know how I did that, but I like it.
So go up to your view box, the right-hand side, the 4 boxes, and click on view and tell me what you have checked.
Grid view.
So what I have is you, me on the left, and the 2 of you on each side. But
And that's how I have it. Me on the left and you two on each side.
yeah, but I'm not a participant in the show, so this doesn't work for me. I don't want to be in the show. It's not my job to be in the show.
Okay.
Let's look at. No, we don't want to do that.
So you just want me to have me and Kathleen? Is that what you're saying?
I believe so.
I don't know if it'll let me do that.
Okay, that's not
No,
as dark as it was.
No, it won't let me do it. Yeah, it won't let me do it. So.
Okay, I'm just going to continue on with my white shirt and my hat today.
Tip your screen up a little bit because I can't. I'm seeing your head's being cut off.
Better?
Yep. This is weird not having the logo. Just saying.
I mean, I don't have to wear my hat, but I like it.
I like your hat.
Okay. Then this is it. Do I look a little dark or am I all right?
You look dark.
That's hilarious, that picture of you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so
you were there
hilarious.
too. You were there too, though. You and Dan.
Hilarious.
Dan is still seeing it, I think.
I'm trying to get back to where.
Childparentrights.org. I'm getting this up on my phone.
Child parent
At
rights.
least I'll have it.
Okay. We are back to where I want to be.
Okay.
All right. So.
Sure, my hair is good.
I don't think they have, this particular doesn't have a timer. So I'm going to have to get my timer out.
Okay.
I'll put it on my phone too, so that we'll be somewhat.
I better do it too because I get to talking and I don't.
If this doesn't turn out right, we should redo the show. Okay. If this doesn't work out right, we'll have to redo the show on this topic. If we have to.
Okay. Are you ready?
I think so.
I think so.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Moms Across America. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a really hot topic to share with you. It's about parental rights, children's rights. I want to first tell you about a website you all need to go to. It is childparentrights.org. This is basically what we're going to be talking about. I was listening to something this morning that really just got me pretty upset about what's going on from our government. The Biden administration is basically trying to destroy the family, trying to bring division between parent and children, and it's all under Title IX. Many of you have probably heard of Title IX. Maybe some of you have not. But Title IX is basically, I'm going to be reading a lot today. It's Title IX of the Education Amendments that was enacted by Congress in 1972. The reason this was put in place is at that time, women and girls had very little rights when it came to education, sports, anything like that. So we're going to talk about this. My name is Vicki Tompkins. I'm here with Kathleen Fitzgerald. And when I shared this with Kathleen, her blood boiled just as much as mine did. Kathleen, what was your first thought when I shared that information with you and you started delving into something that basically our government is not sharing with us?
Well, thanks, Vicki. When you brought this forward to me and I started digging into it, I got very, very concerned, because what it looks like is no matter what the states, no matter what the citizens are doing, the Biden administration goes around behind the backs of the American citizens and
Yep.
usurps their freedoms and their rights, using the Department of Education as their strong arm. Remember, they tried to do that with the board of directors for the I don't know, to make us. I'm sorry, folks. This is just, I'm overwhelmed. But remember when they tried to make it make us tyrannical extremists because we were parents at school board meetings? Well, this is the same thing. I'm sorry, folks. This is really, really catastrophic. And I have to tell you, time is ticking, because we only have till September 12th, it looks like, to
Do
respond.
anything.
Yeah, and we'll get into all that. So
basically, let me go into what Title IX. I've already given you the background. It started in 1972 because Congress felt like they needed to garner up the rights of women when it came to education, because very much prior to 1972, which with everything that's going on with colleges right now, maybe that was a good idea and we messed that up. But anyway, the whole thing about Title IX was about giving rights or not having discrimination against women. So here's part of Title IX right here. No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity. Here's the kicker: receiving federal financial assistance. That's the crux of everything that our government does and how they try to be or work against the American people. It's always about money and holding money over our heads. So when Title X was passed, girls and women faced high barriers pursuing educational opportunities, particularly in higher education, which I had just alluded to that. Title IX was designed to remove those barriers and now represents 50 years of progress in education made by girls and women. That's the crux of it. But here's where the problem comes in today. So now, everything that Congress intended to help women and girls has now been turned into an indoctrinational type tool to be used by the Department of Education. And this is published in the Federal Register, a notice of proposed rulemaking. So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to take Title IX, and now they're going to try to make these broad rules that all educational facilities have to abide by, that they're basically taking the law or the amendment of Title IX and they're trying to add to it rules that they have come up with. And let me tell you what their rules are. The proposed rulemaking to rewrite the federal regulations governing Title IX. The proposed revised regulations would expand the scope of Title IX without congressional approval to include prohibiting, quotes, discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity, end quote. Now, when this was proposed in 1972 and went to Congress, and Congress approved Title IX to prohibit discrimination toward women and girls, there was nothing nor any reason why they would ever, ever, ever think of sexual orientation or gender identity. So, moms, this is all about making gender identity and sexual orientation normal. That's what they're pushing. That's what the Biden administration is all about. And now we have got to act. What say you, Kathleen?
Well, so, this gives these new mandates and regulations would give coordinators sweeping new authority to enforce these new mandates. And so I made a couple calls to see what the status is for a certain principal here. Anyway, he was just announced the Title IX coordinator here in a school board meeting. So, the school board people is where all the power is. They are making and enforcing anything that comes through. And so the principal said that he will be enforcing anything that comes through that's mandated. And the school board will force him to do that. So this means also, doesn't it, Vicki, that if a child is a little bit confused, which I think millions of children are confused at this age, they can be transitioned without the parents' knowledge or consent. Meaning they can be given medications, they can be counseled on how to transition to a different sexual orientation. And then, right? And then so what this means is that if they are transitioning and the parents decide, no, we want to go with the traditional gender, we're not going with the transgender format, we are traditional genderists. Hey, I just made up a new term.
You made up a new term.
my daughter is a female. They can be held in contempt of the law, which this isn't even going to be a legal law, but the school board will think it is and force our principal to, enforce. He's like the sheriff. He's going to enforce the laws. So the school board has to be notified in conjunction with the U.S. Department of Education and the Federal Registry. So, and we've got information about that too.
So basically, when they formed this in 1972 to protect women from being discriminated against, now they're wanting to add all this, everything's about sex with these people. It's like, really? Everything in your life is around gender, sex? Ridiculous. So now, how in workplaces they have sexual harassment rules in their policies and procedures and how the corporation is run. Well, now they want the new language to be sex-based harassment. And what that means is if a child's name is Vicky and Vicky walks into the classroom one day and she goes, "No, my name's Bobby," you must, as an educator, call Vicky Bobby. Well, maybe that wasn't a good name. What's a good boy name? Dan.
Robert.
Robert. So now Vicky Robert instead of Vicky. And if that teacher messes up one time, Vicky, All that student has to do is complain to the principal, and that teacher is going to be reprimanded. This is going to be a total mess. And parents, like you were saying earlier, Kathleen, their authority means nothing now. If that child wants to transition, I don't care if they're 5 years old. If they want to transition, that school now has the authority by something that's not even a law to allow that child to do that and not say a word to the parent.
And what about the CPS, Vicki? I mean, if the parents are going against the narrative of transitioning and all of this stuff, if they go against it at all, and they're traditional conservative parents that don't want their children's gender confused, I read that they can have the CPS will be called, and then those children could be taken away from their homes, from the parents.
Yep. That's exactly what they want to do. This is all about usurping the parental authority, taking control of children. And we know how evil these people are toward children. And I'm not going to get into all that because that's a whole nother show. However, we have got to stand up against this. We've got to look at this September 12th as our deadline. We've got to get this information. We must, as parents, write these officials and say, oh, no, you're not. We are not going to tolerate this. And I'm telling you, all across the country already, parents are pulling their children out of schools and they're homeschooling. And I'm telling you, once parents learn about this, and if they do this, parents will be up in arms just like they have been at these school board meetings. And they will no longer have brick and mortar schools because parents are not going to put up with it. And I know we're out of time, so you can just take us out, Kathleen.
Okay, everybody, we'll be back with the second half. Thanks for joining us from Moms Across America. And you can get your free copy of the Constitution and other documents by going to My Free Constitution. Is that right, Vicki? I never remember it. What is it?
Get My
Free Constitution.
GetMyConstitution.com.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. GetMyConstitution.com. We'll see you in just a minute.
Gosh, it's so much. It's like, oh.
I want to go into just a little bit about the fact that the Board of Education, Department of Education was developed in 1979, and then its mission statement. And then we'll go into the Fed telling everybody how to get to what to do and how to get to the file for the federal at the Federal Registry. Okay, does that sound good?
And also we need to talk about, yeah, we also need to talk about how they're using this as a tool to scare schools and with the fact that if they don't enforce this, then there will take away their federal funding of the food program.
I was going to mention that before you said the break. So yeah, we need to do that too. Okay, you go into that. I'll bring us into break. You jump right in. I'll say, what about the federal funding? And then you go, and then we'll jump into.
Let me see if I can find my words on that.
Yeah, I'll say a little bit about that. Then I'll say, what about the federal funding? Okay, we're ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to the second half of Moms Across America. We are talking about Title IX, the rewording of, it was a good, I think it's good when it was passed, but now they want to muddy the waters. So let me just say that the Department of Education was established in 1979, and it's supposed to assist the president in executing his education policies for the nation and implementing laws by Congress. Okay, it goes on. The department's mission is to serve America's students, to promote student achievement and preparation for global competitiveness by fostering educational excellence and ensuring equal access. Well, I don't think rewording the sexual orientation has anything to do with their education, and separating them
Nope.
from their parents has nothing to do with their well-being as well. So now, which that takes us to the federal funding. Would you please enlighten us, Vicki, on what that means if they don't comply?
Yes. So in May of 2022, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced that in order for schools to receive funds, people listen to what I'm saying. In order for schools to receive funds for free student lunches, so that's the poor, those who can't afford to buy lunches, those who cannot afford to bring a lunch to school, breakfast or other items, they must comply with the interpretation, which we talked about earlier, how they want to change it, sexual orientation and all that, of Title IX and other food related programs. I find it horrifying that schools or educational institutions would be bullied into submission by holding back food. How many times have we talked about this, Kathleen? Holding back food from the most vulnerable, the poor who cannot afford lunches or breakfast at a school. And now, if these schools do not comply with the new wording that the U.S. Department of Agriculture just announced, well, you get no more food. You're on your own. If you don't comply with boys being able to go in girls' restrooms, girls being able to go in boys' restrooms, with them being able to change in each other's dressing rooms to go play PE, you will not receive food assistance. Not that you won't get any more money for per pupil. No, you're not going to get the food program. I'm telling you right now, that is the most devilish, evil, wicked thing I can think that a government could do to its people, is to say, we will no longer feed your children because you don't agree with the fact that a child whose name is Vicky can say they want to be called Robert and you call him Vicky because that's what you're used to calling them. And all of a sudden you're on blast. You get no more help from the government where you pay taxes for those children to be able to eat. I'm sorry, but that is wicked.
Again, the department's mission is to serve America's students. So how is withholding food going to help serve the students? You know, we've really got to get busy. Let's jump into now, Vicky, if you don't mind, the Federal Register, how people can get in there and file a federal a comment on the federal agency. So I'm going to give you right now the docket ID number, everybody. So get your pens and write this down. So it's capital E, capital D, /2021/OCR/0166. And you can put this at the top of your comment so they absolutely know. When you go to the Federal Registry, if you go to the childparentrights.org, they will have this right up there on the front of their website.
Yes.
And it will say, go here. And it's federalregistry.gov. It's a long one, /2022/2021/734/non-discrimination-on-the-basis-of-sex. So you go there.
Well, let's make it a little more simple. And I think you'll see it on your screen as well. For those of you who are not watching the video piece of this, if you go to child parent rights, this is all one word together, childparentrights.org. When you pull up that website, you will see an area that says Title IX. It is right there on the front screen. They have it right there. Here's the problem we're having right now with this website. So many people are starting to learn about this just today, and they are livid. So they're going to this website, and so it may take a little bit of time for you to get in. Our deadline is September the 12th. If you go on this website and you look through the Title IX information, it will give you that link that Kathleen was telling you about. You click on that link and follow those instructions. I mean, it's detailed instructions, and you can go in there and you can file your complaint. We must get this done before September the 12th. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your neighbors, tell your everybody you can think of that would be impacted by this. And that is all of us, because all of us are either parents, grandparents, something, mentoring children. We have got to tell the government you have overstepped too far and we're not going to take it anymore.
So let me add a little detail. So what you should know is that you go to use the public portal, and then why. You written public input on why it should not be adopted. The goal, the US DOE is required to consider and respond to public comments. And the info you want to put on there is who you are, why you are commenting, and types of specific impacts, threats, and or personal stories. Consider stating if the proposed regulations are so harmful that if adopted, you may consider removing your child from public school and or encouraging others to do so as well. And comments need to be submitted to the Federal Registry electronically. Again, the docket ID number is ED-2021-OCR-0166. Put this at the top of your comment and leave your comments ASAP. Your comments can be uploaded in a Microsoft Word or print to PDF format by checking the green plus add to file button if you do not know
Can
where
you
that
repeat?
is.
Can you repeat that number again?
Yes, ma'am. Docket ID number, capital E, capital D, dash 2021 dash OCR dash 0166. Now, let me add just a quick note that when I called the principal, he had been officially, what did he say exactly? He was given the title, a Title IX coordinator back this summer in June, is what he thought it was in June. So they're already gearing up. They have a Title IX coordinator because they know that this is going to give regulators a sweeping new authority to enforce these absolutely satanic, I don't know, tyrannical government, federal government mandates, which are just absolutely unacceptable.
And
That's
something I forgot to say, Kathleen, I had it in my notes here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Has to do with the idea that, okay, right now we're talking about schools. What they're wanting to do is take this outside of the school. I'm sorry, my notes got all mixed up here.
Oh, that's right.
Going
That's
outside
right.
the school. So if a person sees that, or they think they see that a parent is not allowing a child to do whatever they want to do, all they have to do is call their local DHS, tell them and then they can just go pick up that child. I'm telling you, folks, this is terrible. This is terrible.
Yeah.
And let me go back to something when we were talking about them taking away the food program, the free and reduced lunch food program at the schools. Most of us are not aware that the National School Lunch Program feeds nearly 30 million children every single day. 30 million children. If you don't think that this will sweepingly affect our society, think again. 30 million children and their families will be affected by this. Your family is going to be affected by this. That's not to say you get free and reduced lunch, but you'll start seeing kids not at school because they can't eat. And I'm telling you what, if you're not upset about this, I'm going to tell you something that I heard in church where the pastor would say, if that doesn't get your fire up, your wood's wet. So we've got to dry out our wood and go to battle. We have got to get in the fray of all of this. And I know many times some of us want to sit back and say, oh, well, that's not going to really affect me. It's no big deal. Well, you go to childparentrights.org and you will see some of the stuff that is happening because of this Title IX. And it is not pretty, and it's going to be a huge detriment to our society.
So let me add this too, that right now, every principal in the United States is going to be trained on how to be a Title IX coordinator if they're picked. I mean, not every principal.
Right.
Whoever they pick to be the Title IX coordinator is going to, be having a training. Training is coming up. And my principal here in this town, they haven't even gone through the training yet. They're not even there. And so it wasn't an admin meeting. Sometime this summer, either June or July, in the beginning of June or July. So they are gearing up and already behind your backs, setting up a Title IX coordinator because they're pretty sure they're going to be able to push this through. So that means contact your principal, talk to them about Title IX, contact your school board, go to the school board meeting. Now you know all about it. We just told you. And inform them that you are not supporting this and you will not, and that you will go so far as to maybe even withdraw your participation in the public school system. And you will encourage others to do. So let's recap. And then I think that's about the show. So no congressional authority, only Congress can make laws.
That's correct.
And Vicki, you've been really good at informing all of us about that. And it's not illegal.
No.
It is an illegal situation that they're trying to do. They will withhold funds. They will withhold food. They will turn you into CPS, Child Services Protection. They can administer transitional hormone therapy to your children without your consent or knowledge. And if you go against it, you will be, of course, accountable as far as the law. Now, I'm sure it's going to be challenged, but it will take years. I don't know how long, but it's going to be a mess.
Well, here's the thing. This is usually how challenges work. We go out and we tell them we don't like this, we're not doing this, blah, blah, blah. Then it goes through all the court stuff. While it's going through the courts, it's on a pause. They can't enforce it. The thing that is so important is this election in November. You better find out where your people stand who's running for office on this issue. And if they don't know about Title IX, you better tell them they better get back with you in the next couple of days from what they find out, and let them know and let you know where they stand. Because you should never, ever put anyone in a position of authority in any type of election that will harm you, harm your family, and harm your child's education. And that is what this is doing. Title IX and the revisions, the re-ruling that they want to put in place is going to do just that. So it is important that you know what these people who are running for office believe in and refuse to vote for them, no matter what their party affiliation is. If they're not supporting you as a parent, your children in their education, then you should not vote for them. Vote for those people who will support you as the person who has the authority over their child. Otherwise, this is going to pass if we don't do something about it now.
Yeah, and let me throw this in that this is for all federally funded K through 12 college education programs and sports. So
Yep.
it's not just in the classroom.
Nope, it's everything. So I know this is a heavy topic for us today. It is something that my heart has been broken about this all day since I have learned about it. And I'm just concerned that an administration who is supposed to be for the people of America is not. I think we have seen that over and over. But anyway, we want to remind you that you can go to childparentrights.org and find this information and put in your input. We need you to put in your input. We need to overwhelm them. Millions of us need to do this. And also, you can go to getmyconstitution.com and get your free copy of the Constitution. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you understand how much we care about you, moms across America. And that's why we come to you every week with the information that we come to you with. And always remember, moms across America, you are America. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.